Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over another tool in Google Opal. We're going to be going over the output feature. So basically the output feature is the end of your process. So after processing and after your input, you get to this section called output. And this is where you'll have your final result and everything. And this is where you'll then get your app from there. So if we just create a quick little agent, so if we just describe an agent in the bottom here, saying, can you make a simple agent that takes in a name and then writes them a letter or writes them a message, then we'll just go from there and we'll go over all the different types of outputs and all the different things to know about when making an agent and how you're going to be changing your output in different ways. Alright, so if we click on our output step, which is this nice seafoam green one, you'll get this little thing over here. So this little blurb here is the directions for the output. So it's just saying what to do and how to format it essentially. And so if you go up and look at this section here, so you have manual layout. So if you click this, it'll just output exactly what is given. So it'll output the text exactly as given. It won't format any nice or any way. It's just going to be text, nothing else. Next, you have this Webpage and Autolayout. So this is a little bit of a combination of a generate step and then also an output step. So it takes this generate mindset and it does this formatting step that could be a generate step otherwise, but in this case, it is in this output step. So it basically formats everything in a certain way. And if you click this little button at the bottom, it says Advanced Settings. There's a model. So if you look at this model, there's the flash lite, which is really quick. Then there's just normal flash, which can be for, as it says, coding and static display, so things that aren't really moving. And then you have the Pro version, which is more for the complex interactive displays that have many different features and all that. But so right now we have it on Flash Lite because we don't want anything too complicated. It's a pretty simple thing. And then there's already system instructions that have been put there. So if you look down here, it's just a little prompt for that generate to format it all correctly. And so this is the kind of combination feature that they have. And this is honestly a really useful feature and probably a way that everybody or a lot of people are going to want to have their outputs.
The way I like to think of this is in here, this is kind of the rules it's following, and then here this prompt is kind of the instructions it's following. So that's just an easy way to remember it.
So if we head on to the next one, we're going to have save to Google Docs. So this will basically have your output be straight into a new Google Doc. So it'll basically take whatever your generate step did and your previous step and everything that's going to be outputted in your just app section. So if you look over at this app tab up at the top, this is where you get your output and this is where you see your result and everything. That will all be outputted into a Google Doc, and then basically that will be in your Google Docs of the same Google account that you're logged into for Google Opal. And so that's just how that one works. And then if you go back there, you might see Google Slides and Google Sheets. So similarly, you'll be able to output whatever you're going to have onto a slide or into the sheets. And there are different use cases for this. So if you are probably making something that is going to be if you're making a slideshow, this could probably help with that. I'm not exactly sure at the moment how you're going to be able to, if you can, really format an entire slideshow and have information like that, but that could be probably one use case for it. And then another thing is this Google Sheets option here, which you could possibly take in a Google Sheet as your input and then generate whatever you need to kind of add to that Google Sheets and then have that put into an output. So you have a new Google Sheet that has all that previous information and all the other information you need. So those are just the different ways to output. And then also, again, you have up in your top right, you have this little briefcase, which is your tools. So I'm not sure you would need this for most of your outputs because this would usually be in a generate step. But they're still here if you need them. And then again, in your top right again, you have this little wand icon, which is for suggestions. So if you want to edit this prompt, you can type something here like, oh, I want you to make this prompt shorter, longer, or whatever. And that's where you do that. And it just does a single step. So if you suggest an edit at the bottom here, it'll edit the entire agent, and it can edit multiple steps at once. But here is just specifically for this one.
Yeah, so for instance, if you want, like, let's say you want a different color scheme, you want something flashier, you could just input here, change this prompt to reflect a flashier output, and it would adjust it.
As you see at the bottom here, you have this thing called message content, and this is just where you're taking in your previous variable. So it's actually just going to output what the previous generate step did. So all that processing that just happened is then going to be put into this little blue box down here, and that's how it actually goes and outputs it.
Yeah, just something important to mention. Although this output step does have AI incorporated in it, you want to do the bulk of your AI work in separate generate steps. Because if you try to like change what you're formatting and format it at the same time, the AI gets really confused and it just gets really messy. So make sure you separate that.
Yeah, this last one is really just the AI in this Webpage and Autolayout one is really specifically just for the formatting. It's not really for anything else, and it should probably really stay to that so it can really stay on track and really simple and clean. So I think that's all that we're going to go over for today about outputs. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.